prayer request, feel free to email it to info. Welcome, and thank you for tuning in to the Sunday services at Center for Spiritual Living, Denver. We are a loving and prospering community in the heart of Denver and online. We now conduct hybrid services, continuing our transmissions online weekly, as well as meeting in person on the first and third Sunday of each month at the historic Grant Avenue Community Center and Sacred Place, located at 216 South Grant Street, Denver, Colorado. All are welcomed here. A place, space, and face of love. We are a spiritual community practicing universal principles that enrich our lives. We are grateful that you have blessed us with your presence. While online, we'd love to know you're watching with us. Feel free to leave a comment and let everyone appreciate you. With everything going on, life can feel overwhelming. CSL Denver wants you to know we are here for you. Please know that our practitioners are available for personal prayer work. Our licensed spiritual practitioners' names and phone numbers are available on our website at csldenver.org. Or if you have a prayer request, feel free to email it to info@csldenver.org. For your convenience, you'll find clickable links in the description of this broadcast. Rev Elzia, along with all our guest speakers, practitioners, service coordinators, and musical inspirations, want you to know how truly grateful we are that you are with us today. Thank you for your continued support and participation in our services, workshops, and events, as well as providing financial contributions to our center. If you're interested in upcoming events and information, we send out weekly newsletters. Sign up by visiting www.csldenver.org. Presently, on the first and third Sundays of every month, we deliver services in a hybrid format where we meet in person at 216 South Grant Street. We will also continue to live stream all services on Facebook and YouTube every Sunday. Find us on our respective channels as well as on New Thought Media Network. At the conclusion of our service, we welcome you to connect in fellowship. Join us in person on the appropriate Sundays or on Zoom every week. If this will be your first time joining us online, please send an email to info@csldenver.org with fellowship in the subject line. We'll reply with the Zoom link. Again, thank you for your precious attention. Now prepare for engaging enlightenment.
Surely the presence of God is in this place. I can feel the mighty power and the grace. I can hear the brush of angel wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of God is in this place. of God is in this place. I can feel the mighty power and the grace. I can hear the brush of angel wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of God is in this place.
Hello to this grand rising. I'm Bill Carlton, a practitioner at CSL Denver Church. I invite you to be with me and close your eyes. Take in a deep breath and release all the negative emotions and just be present here in this beautiful world. We feel that oneness of God surrounding all of us involved in this service and who are watching, and the people around us. Allow us to be in gratitude for our power of balance of all our emotions, pluses and minuses. I acknowledge and give thanks to all that has brought us here in this moment. I release these words to the universe, knowing they return to us tenfold. Our talk for today, the work of my soul is creating a life that matters. The secret of success is making your vocation your vacation. By Mark Twain. Your profession is not what brings home your paycheck. Your profession is what you were put on this earth to do with such passion and such intensity that it becomes a spiritual in calling. By Vincent van Gogh. God is ever going forth into new expression. Every word we speak, every thought we think is a further creation or creative activity of God at the level of our expression of God. Ernest Holmes, Practical Applications of Science of Mind, 86.3. Oh, and now more music from Susan Clark.
Hello and greetings. I picked out a song this morning that was written by Eddie Watkins Jr. I got to work with Eddie a few years back when I was the music director at the Rio Grande Center for Spiritual Living in Albuquerque. And I want to tell you what a powerful presence he is to be around. And he's also a wonderful songwriter. Eddie does have a new album out right now called A Better Yesterday. So please check that out, A Better Yesterday by Eddie Watkins Jr. In the meantime, this is an older song of his. It's called It's a New Day. And it does have some audience participation in it. And I'm going to show you your part. It's very simple. And I know what you're thinking. Oh, she's coming to us virtually. But I'm here to tell you, I can feel it when you are singing along. Okay? So here is your part. You ready? Quick rehearsal. Hey, hey, it's a new day. That's it. Pretty simple, huh? Hey, hey, it's a new day. All right, let's get started. Every day we're born again to create this world we live in. So now let's claim our good and speak our word and release it to the universe. Hey, hey, it's a new day. Right here is where we take a stand. Hey, hey, it's a new day. Compassion for our fellow man. Right now we're making a difference. It's a new day, hey, it's a new day, all together, hand in hand, hey, hey, it's a new day, compassion for our fellow man, right here we're making a difference, it's a new day, every day I'm filled with wonder, by the glory of the silent thunder, unfolding from down under. Such a denial. Hey, hey, it's a new day. Right here is where we take the stand. Hey, hey, it's a new day. Compassion for our fellow man. Right now we're making a difference. It's a new day. Hey, it's a new day. All together, hand in hand. Hey, hey, it's a new day. Sing our love across the land. Right now we're making a difference. It's a new day. Hey, it's a new day. All together, hands in hand. Hey, hey, it's a new day. Sing our love across the land. Right here we're making a difference. It's a new day. Hey, it's a new day. You're still with me? Let's sing it a couple times. Hey, it's a new day. Again, please. Hey, hey, it's a new day. One more time. Hey, hey, it's a new day. Just like that.
Oh, thank you, Susan, for that song. Get us going and moving a little bit. Our topic is for September. It's the wonder of work. And for this week, it's creating a life divine. So there are two words that stand out to me in all of this, the key words of wonder and work. So today we're just going to kind of explore those ideas and others. I don't have any PowerPoints, nothing to read. I'm doing this my usual old-fashioned way. I have my notes. And I just invite you to make this your own time, which it is. So get something to drink or whatever, sit back, relax, listen if you want to, and kind of just let yourself settle into this space. Part of the way that we create or that our soul works is to be sort of engaged, not completely engaged like we are when we drive. So we're aware of ideas or objects that come into our view, but we're not really focused intently on something. So I would like this time to be like that. And I'm missing the interaction with people because that's something I really love. So in the fellowship time afterward, I'd love for us to share some ideas and hear your experiences. We're going to do a little meditative kind of in the middle. So first, the word wonder. And I loved the quote from Socrates that says, "Wonder is the beginning of wisdom," to just wonder. And then work, we start with just the foundation of truth, that you're a work of art, God's work of art. So that work is done. And our work is to embrace the fullness of that. Let us teach us, direct us, and let us experience the idea that God had in mind of you even before you had a body. And so it's an exploration, it's a discovery. Oftentimes, we spend a lot of time and effort looking for formulas for teachers, for books, for conferences, something that will give us the formula for creating a life divine. And what we come to most often after much time and expense is that there is no formula. There is none. It has to be done from the inside. But the value in all of our searching, in the books, the teachers, all of our investments, is that each has some grain of truth, some message, some even word that resonates with us. And that is the material for our own unfolding the divinity, the creative activity within us. And as with any creative endeavor, you can't do that without a strong foundation. A musician doesn't learn to play well and without a lot of screeching if you have a violin and strange noises at the beginning. So only in mastery does the freedom show forth to improvise and really create with the universe a life that we would like. So you think of every endeavor, whether it's cooking or building, math, gardening, music, the foundation is a foundation of discipline, of rules, of techniques. And the foundation for creating a life divine is your study, my study in the science of mind. It's the foundation Ernest Holmes lays about understanding who we are, the nature of the universe, how it works, and having the benefit of Reverend Elzia, your practitioners, the community, to have people to learn with and grow with. Because only from a strong foundation, strong roots, do plants bear fruit. So, a good part of our creating the life divine is in becoming really skilled and grounded in the basics. And I always remember what Yoda had said, there is no trying, there's just do or don't do. And so we relax into our learning, the fact that we're evolving. A musician who is just beginning to play the trumpet doesn't sound anything like that musician will with mastery and with the free form flowing. But still, that musician is not trying, that musician is doing. So we always, as one of the four agreements reminds us, we always do our best. Sometimes it's better than others, but as long as it's our best, that's good enough. So the first point is having to have a good foundation. And I love the quote of Parker Palmer because now we move more into how this creating really takes place. It's the work of the soul. And as Parker Palmer said, before I can tell my life what I want to do with it, I must listen to my life telling me who I am. And from that, from knowing who I am, then everything starts to coalesce around that. And again, it's the wonder, it's the curiosity. And as Rumi said, there's a voice that doesn't use words, and that is the language of our soul. So the ultimate purpose, I believe, of life is to express this divine idea that you are in the mind of God, I am in the mind of God, and express it with my own free will, my own choices, but always knowing that what I am doing is bringing about my own experience of the divine life that God has already created, or spirit, if you prefer. Sometimes I like the term the absolute, that's used often in Hebrew as the Ein Sof, which means that is above thinking and that is above being. So, however you want to refer to that power in the universe that is solid, that is here, that is present, but accessible only by our desire to know it. And so we just work from that point. The language of the soul, or our soul, is often called our Christ consciousness, is within us. If I had done drawing, and you can do it in your mind, the teaching symbol of the science of mind kind of incorporates all of that. So if you're in your imagination, you can just draw a circle and then just break it into 3 parts. The top being spirit, which is the creative part, God. The next division being soul, which is the creative medium, and the last being the body or effect. And then the V that dissects it is spirit, wisdom coming down into expression in human life and then returning. And so, in that, what we know is that spirit is the cause of all being, all good. The soul is the creative part of us. It's not creative on its own, for it has no will of its own. Its will is to express the idea, the cause that God has placed there as you, as me. And the body, the effect, is the outpicturing of that. So our soul does have a language of its own. It works in awe and wonder a lot. And so to take time to just be in contact with that within yourself is really just, first of all, a time that you give yourself to just wander freely, doing whatever it is you do that you can lose yourself in and not be thinking. And then later, it becomes a more active asking to be shown, to be aware of things, but it's first developing that relationship. So the soul's language speaks in memories, it speaks in moments that you might have when your mind is just free, just a glimpse, a scene, a moment, a memory, one time in your life. And it speaks in music or in the words. It speaks in seeing people. Like I love seeing old couples still holding hands and laughing. And that's the soul speaking. It speaks in kindness. That's why the Dalai Lama says kindness is his religion. And its creative ability is it creates synchronicities, coincidences. It leads you to whatever material, reading material that you want to have, pulls it off the shelf for you. It catches your attention when there's part of a song or part of something that you've never seen before that all of a sudden resonates with you. So that is its impulse. So it's not a process of learning, but more of remembering. So if you think about being in contact with that, what Parker Palmer says, before you know what to do with your life, to know who you are, let's just take a couple moments, a few moments, and do kind of a practice of working with your soul. And so just relax, let your mind just be free. And as thoughts come into your mind, just notice them as leaves gently falling from the trees, landing in the current of a gentle stream. They just float away. And so just let your mind settle into its resting place, its receptive place. And in that open space, bring to your awareness some memory back as early as childhood. Maybe it's a scene where you see yourself, an experience around you. It's a time when you feel completely independent of everything around you. Maybe playing in the sand, maybe playing with figures, maybe just sitting and watching insects crawl. Whatever time that is that you feel just completely both independent and at one with yourself. Another way you might get at that is to ask yourself the question, what would you never be without? If you described yourself or someone describes you, they would say, you are never without whatever. And just notice what that is. That was a short time. You can always do that again later. But I do that with myself. What I've always known about myself is that I can never be without a book. I get anxious if I don't have one. And I could never be without plants. A garden, even one plant. So I know those two things about myself that are who I am. And that's the idea for you to know just the things that make you feel truly who you are and that you really would feel anxious without them. I guess that's the way I would say. So curiosity becomes the teacher. Curious about what about those two things? What about books and gardening? You don't, I don't leap to the idea of could I make a living doing that? That's not the point. What is it that I can never be without with those things? And that is the language of soul. And if you think about it, what set you on this path of discovery? What brought you to CSL Denver? What grounds you in Ernest Holmes' teaching? And in that, what we recognize is the work of the soul. It is creative. It's what's always nudging you to the next thing, the next idea. So, however you came onto this path and to CSL, you were nudged there by your soul, by that inner light. So, what it's always telling you is that you have gifts to share, and that knowing those gifts brings you further and further along the path of manifesting them as the life you desire. So, in the soul's language, there is an idiom that's absolutely true. What is large is small, and what is small is large. So, the problems of the day, trying to figure out things, where we're going to work, how we're going to pay the rent, what to do about, the kids or the parents, is large in how we allow it to occupy our attention, but it's small in the idea of who you are. And what is small is large. The kindness of someone, the person who shows you how to do something, the person who brings you a flower, food, whatever, an acknowledgement of your presence, your existence, that you make a difference. Those things are large. And so that's where our soul works. So it's always the experience of serving and being served. So whatever your vocation is, what you choose to do is work, it's always an element of service. If it's the clerk at the grocery store is helping you to have food to bring home, or ingredients to bring home and turn into meals. And that person, in serving you, is served when we're gracious and thankful, truly thankful, not in a passing thank you way, that that person has chosen that way to be in this world. And so whatever we do, we're in that same position. So actually, the whole process of creating a life divine is just being on that journey and allowing the curiosity and the wonder to just carry you where it needs to be. So I'll finish with quickly, I'm getting told I think too long, kind of how things work. So I've always known that I love books and gardening. And from that, you might conclude that I might be sort of like a hermit, but I'm not at all. So when I look deeper, as you will, the ideas that came to you, I see everything I read is about people, is about places, all different kinds of people, their interactions. And the stories are a way of entering their life. And gardening is always about planting things, seeing them grow, seeds. And so as that's carried through, as your soul works through to what I do now, I always say, which I know is me, I'm a guide and not a teacher. And you probably realize that by my lack of time management. Tim's helping me, no props, because I always trust in Emma Curtis Hopkins' wisdom that you only know what you teach yourself. And so to be a science of mind minister is really not helpful to people, to not be a good teacher. So what you learn in your evolution is I've learned to say what I'm not good at, be surrounded by people who are good at it, and be grateful for their gifts. And in that way, we develop our collaborative life. And I never get confused that I'm a teacher, because you would say I'm not a good one, which I'm not. They're well structured, organized, and I'm so grateful that I have the foundation I do from good teachers. But I'm a guide to help you access your own inner wisdom. And that's what I love to do, because it's like seeing plants grow. So I have used more time than we're supposed to use, but I would just encourage you to just live in wonder and in curiosity. And remember that you are already a work of art, and how you choose to express that in the world, you're led to activity by activity, idea by idea, and always it is already an accomplished fact. So with that, we'll just take time in prayer and know that it is such a gift to be alive, to be the manifestation of God's love, to know that we are a divine idea coming into expression, and especially in a time when this world so much needs everyone to be the best version of who each person is. So we know that everything in the universe conspires to support us, to guide us, to fulfill our sense of ourself. For in that there is the true joy of living. And as we acknowledge that God can only appear, express in the human world through human beings. So acknowledging that each person, each being is an investment the universe has made in its growth, in its wholeness, and its fulfillment. And so it is with joy and wonder that we give thanks, that we, each of us, is both blessed and a blessing. And in that, we extend our heartfelt compassion, courage, gratitude, and encouragement to every being throughout the world, and know that every prayer creates a ripple of energy that joins with others, and so that we truly do create and live in a world that works for everyone. And with that, we just give thanks for our time together and move forward into a time when we might share in discussion. And so would you say with me, and so it is, and so it is.
Thank you, Reverend Rita. You are so awesome. And I've missed you, having you speak with us. And so I'm so glad we've reconnected, and that hopefully you'll be able to come when we meet live as well. So thank you very much.
Yes.
So now it's time for our offertory. We are so grateful for everybody, and so blessed for everyone's support of CSL Denver, whether it's in time, treasure, or talent. And especially during this time, and we're moving into fall. And so there's always that transition to that as well. So whether this is your first time joining us or you are a returning community participant, we want to thank you so much for your continuing financial support of the important work we are striving to provide. Right now, there are several ways you can make your financial contribution to Center for Spiritual Living Denver. This information is running along the bottom of the screen. So you can do a text to give, you can go onto our website and click on the donate button, or you can send your check to P.O. Box 300-416, Denver, Colorado 80203. So, and I invite you now to take your gift, or just holding your hand to your heart, and repeat with me our giving affirmation. This perfect gift is spirit and form, circulating and blessing all that it touches. Freely I give, and joyously I receive. And so it is. And we have just a few announcements. Our usual virtual fellowship is on Zoom this morning. We would love for you to come join us and let us know how you're doing. And during her talk today, Reverend Rita has given you all some thoughts to consider, and she would very much love you to join us and have some discussion around that. So if you did not receive the Zoom fellowship email that I sent out this morning, just give me send an email to info@csldenver.org, and I will send you an email right away, and mention fellowship. Remember that next Sunday, September 18th, we will have our hybrid Sunday service. We will be meeting live in person at the historic Grant Avenue building, as well as streaming online through Facebook and YouTube. So please join us in person or virtually, whatever works best for you. Our service starts at 10 a.m. Mountain Daylight Time, and the address is 216 South Grant Street, Denver, Colorado 80209. And there is a parking lot on the south side of the building, which is where the entrance is, and there's also street parking. So there's plenty of parking. There shouldn't be a problem. And also, if you, like me, are needing some good news of the world to offset some of the other stuff going on in the world, New Thought Media Network has a program on Fridays at 5 p.m. Mountain Time, and it's called And Now the Good News. And I invite you to check it out and be uplifted. Diego has been wonderful enough to actually post that onto our CSL Denver Facebook page. So you can go there, or you can go to the New Thought Media Network Facebook page. So, and it's also on www.ntmedia.org. So meanwhile, we hope you have a wonderful week, and affirm right here and right now that 2022 is blessed and perfect in all that it is. We love you and hope to see you soon, and please take care of yourselves. And let's close out with Michael Gott singing I Release and I Let Go.
There was a time in my life, thought I had to do it all for myself. Didn't know the grace of God was sufficient. I didn't know the love of God was at hand. But now I can say, if you are discouraged, struggling just to make it through another day, you gotta let it go. Gotta let it go. You gotta let it all go. And this is what you have to say. I release and I let go. Let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I release and I let go. Let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. Oh, I release and I let go. Let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I release and I let go. Let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. Oh, I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God.
New Thought Media Network. We are a global broadcast network of positive music, media, and entertainment, inspiring humanity's evolution along the journey of enlightenment and creating a world of love, peace, empowerment, and prosperity for all. New Thought Media Network. Positively inspiring.